Hey guys, so new balance patch just dropped, so let's review it. Right off the bat, Dark Panda Warrior, passive nerfed. Decreases incoming damage by 50% is now 30% if the enemy's attack power is lower than yours. I think this is a great change. Dark Panda Warrior was definitely really OP, so this will definitely bring him back down to being a little bit more fair to play against. Water Valkyrie, passive, the 20% damage reduction effect against non-critical hits is removed. So I think this will be really good fighting all those defenses in Arena and especially Siege and guild content. I think that's a good nerf, but I don't think she's been as strong as she was maybe a couple months ago, but you know, this'll do. Wind Battle Angel, okay, this is a big nerf. Decreases the increase from 100% is now 50%. And the chance of receiving a glancing hit increases by twice, with the 50% cap is maintained. So this is a monster I do not have. I really would like this this monster, but it's good to see that she's getting nerfed. You know, playing against it in World Arena, it's really tough. So that'll be really good. All of the Twin Angels. Increase the allies' attack power by 15% is now 10%. I think that's a really good nerf. All of the Twin Angels are really good. And it makes it easier to cut in between if they're really fast on Swift, boosting a violent unit. So in World Arena, they'll be a little less OP. Water Twin Angel nerf. Recovers the HP of all allies by 15% is now 10%. It was already really low, so I guess it's just making it even worse. That's fine. Dark Twin Angel, Charge Shot, decreases the attack speed of all enemies for 2 turns with a 100% chance, is now a 60% chance. Sorry, the Wind Twin Angels, not the Dark. I think that was a good move. Wind Twin Angels, they're probably one of the best monsters in, probably one of the best wind monsters in World Arena right now. So that's a great change. And Dark Twin Angels now. Air Shot decreases the defense of all enemies for 3 turns with a 50% chance is now a 75% chance. Good change. Make it a little more consistent with the RNG. Water and Dark Spectre Princess. The skilled cooldown reduction effect for Arsenal of Sacrifice is removed when the arsenal is full. Sorry. Spectre Princess, the skill cooldown reduction for Arsenal of Sacrifice when the arsenal is full is removed. Okay, that'll make it a little better to play against. It's really annoying, especially in guild content when there's only 3 monsters on the field to begin with. These guys can do a lot of damage, so it's a good move. That's a good change. Fire, Wind, and Light Spectre Princesses, the worst ones. The Water and Dark definitely are the standouts in this family, I'd say. So as it is, attacks the enemy target to remove all beneficial effects and stuns the target for 1 turn. This attack will deal more damage according to your max HP. When used on the spot of a dead enemy, that enemy cannot be revived during the battle. Deals damage proportionate to the dead target's max HP to all other enemies and stuns them for 1 turn with a 70% chance is now going to be removes all beneficial effects granted on the selected enemy target, and then attacks all enemies with an attack that deals more damage according to your max HP. Okay. To stun them for 1 turn with a 50% chance. Enemies defeated by this attack and enemies already defeated when this attack is used. Ooh, cannot be revived during battle. Okay, interesting. Interesting. We haven't seen a skill like that prevents reviving after the fact, you know, so that's very interesting. We'll see how that is. I mean, these are again the worst, like the worst ones in the family, so we'll see. Dark Bayek or Desert Warrior, the passive right now, it just stuns a random enemy, increases your attack. It's changed as is. It increases your attack bar by 20% if the target attacked is stunned. Okay, and it is going to be increases your attack bar by 20% after you attack on your turn, regardless. Okay, that'll be pretty good. I mean, lots of turn cycling. This is a unit that can be annoying if it's working. Really RNG based unit. But you're just getting some more cycling in, more opportunities to stun. I could see this being really good. All of the Yennifers or Magic Order Enchantresses, the Cow Dive or Magic Crow, the effect added, blocks the target from removing harmful effects for 1 turn with a 30% chance. Okay. Cool. I don't see them very much. Wind and Dark Yennifers, the Magic Shield value. Okay. The max cooldown. Okay. 5 to 4. You know, again, that's fine. We'll see how that is. Fire Hacker getting a buff. Whenever an enemy gains a turn, its HP is reduced by 3%, is now 4% for each harmful effect. That's really good. He already was one of the best. You could use him in Arena. You could use him in TOA Hard, TOA Hell. It's just, I can't believe they gave this guy a buff. So, if you have a Fire Hacker and you haven't built him now. Get ready. Dark Geralt, his passive. This is not the greatest Dark Nat 5. Increases the damage, as is, it increases the damage dealt by 40% up to 200% for each beneficial effect granted on yourself. So, you know, as it is, you need 5. That's terrible. Is going to be increases your attack bar by 100% up to 300% for each beneficial effect granted on yourself. Okay. So that's not bad. I could see him doing a ton of damage. You know, stacking up really fast. Get 3 buffs on you, 300% boost. That's not bad. But again, I don't think he's in a great spot even now. So we'll see. I don't know if this will be the last buff he'll be getting. Wind and Dark Geralt. Okay, Dark Geralt getting another. Let's see, change here. The second attack stuns all enemies for 1 turn with a 30% chance is now a 50% chance. Okay. A little bit more activation there, but still easily could be just nothing. Dark Demon passive. Effect added resets the cooldown time of his second skill when revived by this effect. Okay. That is very good, because when he revives with 0 HP, he ignores defense with that second skill and revives a monster with what's going to be full health. So I like that change a lot. I don't think he gets a turn immediately when he revives, so you could probably still just take him off the map again, but I don't know. I think this is a great change. It might not be enough, but I think that's definitely a step in the right direction, and I could see that being very, very effective. Dark Monkey King. Okay. His third skill blocks effect added blocks all enemies from removing harmful effects for 1 turn. Okay. So this could be a Water Paladin counter, a Water Druid counter. Yeah, I could see that. That's good. You know, why not? Dark Monkey King owners are definitely going to be happy about that one. Water Polar Queen, third skill, Frost Rush. Damage is increased by 12.5%. Okay. That's really good. That's really good. I believe that's the second skill. No, sorry, the third skill. So that's really good. 12.5%. She attacks a lot. So additional damage on that too is going to be even better. I don't know if she's going to be better than Zyros, but in certain teams, against certain arena defenses maybe, she'll be a lot more usable. So Fire, Wind, and Dark Inosuke's, these guys are not very good at all. So their second skill, as is, attacks all enemies to grant silence for 2 turns with a 50% chance, terrible, is going to be attacks all enemies to provoke them for 2 turns with a 50% chance. Okay, so I have all 3 of these guys, and I have not used any of them ever. And I will not be using them ever after this update. So this is not going to do it, I don't think. Provoke for 2 turns, like maybe the Fire one could take that because you might want to build him tanky for his passive, but he's one of the worst monsters in the game. And the other ones I believe are just attack monsters. I don't think they would be able to take 2 turns of provoke, you know, coming at him. So I don't know what they're trying to do there. Wind Dracon Warrior, decrease the HP of enemies with beneficial effects removed by 20% is now 30%. Okay, that's really good. Dracon Warrior Fire and Dark, Furious Charge, recovers your HP by 30% is now 50% of the damage dealt. Okay, again, I think those are really good changes. I don't see them very often, but, you know, might see them more. Dark Beetle Guardian, I don't know anything about this monster. Horn of the Ancient Beetle, percent changed, attacks all enemies 2 times to increase their cooldown time by 1 turn with a 50% chance is now a 100% chance. Okay, that's not bad. The skill up level effects are changed as follows. The level 2 is going from 20% to 15%, and harmful effect rate 20% is now damage plus 15%. Okay, that's not bad. Attacks all, okay. But, I mean, just 1 violent proc and then it's like nothing ever happened, so I don't know, maybe need a little bit more there. Fire Beetle Guardian, the effect as is it grants endure on for 1 turn on the ally, including yourself, that takes fatal damage from an attack that ignores defense. Okay, is now going to be grants endure on all allies for 1 turn if an ally takes fatal damage from an attack that ignores defense. Okay, that's a lot. I mean, that's better. It's a very, you know, situational unit, but I'm sure that'll help. I mean, maybe against a Lucian. Good Lucian unit to put on your defense, I guess, but I don't know. I don't really see him anyway. Fire, Wind, and Light Beetle Guardian, Majestic Tide. As is, it recovers your HP by 20%, but it will be recovering your HP and the HP of the ally with the lowest HP ratio by 20%. Okay, a little healing buff. That's fine. That's good. Wind Gladiatrix, Vigor Crush. As is, it increases the chance of landing a glancing hit for 2 turns. Will now be increase the damage dealt by 30% if the enemy's attack power is lower than yours. Okay. I don't think this unit was very good in the first place. I think they probably could have kept the glancing hit, and then added that 30% as well, and it still would have been underwhelming. I don't know, let me know if I'm wrong, but I think that's just whatever. Alright, Unicorns. Water Unicorn, the passive recovers your HP by 10% is now 15% each turn. That's not bad. I have had some unfortunate situations where I was soloed by a water unicorn, so you might see a little bit more of those happening. But you don't see the water unicorn very often, so this is a good move to get her back, maybe in some guild content. Maybe you'll see her in World Arena. Water and Light Unicorns again, getting a percent change. Attacks the enemy to provoke for 2 turns with a 75% chance is now a 100% chance. Okay. That's really good. A lot of times you'd use that attack and it just would not even proc, so you know, you wouldn't even get the chance to provoke, so that's better. It still can get resisted, which would be annoying, but at least it'll attempt, you know. Fire, Wind, and Dark Unicorn Shield. As it is, it creates a shield of 30% of your max health on yourself for 3 turns, and a shield of 20% of your max health on all other allies for 2 turns, is now creating a shield of 30% of your max health on all allies for 2 turns. Okay, so that's good. That's getting more protection on everybody, including yourself. Not including yourself, sorry, but more protection on everybody, just 1 fewer turn for the unicorn. I think that's a good change. Wind Unicorn, the second skill. As it is, in the human form, it inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn whenever you remove a beneficial effect. Is now going to be inflicts continuous damage for 1 turn with a 50% chance regardless of removal. Okay, so that could be really good. That skill already does a lot of damage, and imagine putting on 4 continuous damage just right off the bat as well. That is 20% of the health just gone. So that I think is going to be really good. And of course, you're probably not going to get 4, but you might. I mean, 50% chance. That's not bad. That's not bad. Wind Paladin, first skill change. Right now, it decreases the attack bar by 30% with a 100% chance. Is going to be decrease the defense for 2 turns with a 25% chance. Okay. So I guess it could be good if it happens, but I think 25% chance is really low. I don't know if that'll make it more that might even make it less usable, just because of how often nothing will happen. So we'll see how that works out. The Dark Occult Girl, the 3rd skill, damage is increased by 20%. I think that's really good for Dark Occult Girl owners. That skill already does a lot of damage with artifacts, so this will just be even better. Dark and Water Occult Girls, their 2nd skill, Heal. The recovery amount is increased by 30% for allies with harmful effects removed. That's great. I don't see the Water one used very often anymore, so maybe that'll bring her back. Dark one, I see every so often, so that'll just make her even more usable. Wind Cannon Girl, passive. When fully accumulated, removes all harmful effects, excluding inability effects at the start of your turn. For her passive. Okay. I think that's really good, but the only time that I have ever used her is with Leo and Delphoy. So and Delphoy removes all harmful effects and inability effects too. So I think it would be better to see, maybe keep that, but add a little something with more damage. We'll see. Water Hell Lady, Eternal Scar. As it is, the first hit decreases the defense for 2 turns, and the second hit blocks harmful effects from being removed for 2 turns. Now we'll have both on both hits. Okay, that's really good. You'll get more chances to land those debuffs. I think that'll make her a more consistent unit for sure. The Fire Hell Lady, the 3rd skill, Soul Crusher. Grants Endure on yourself for 2 turns if the target is defeated. I think before this it was 1 turn, so makes her a little bit more usable. And with that 2nd skill, actually with that 2nd skill you could get full attack bar and Soul Crush again and get Endure for more turns. So in the right situation, I could see this being really good. Okay. Beast Rider dismounted. Revengeful Thought increases your attack speed by 15% when you dismount the beast. Okay. So that'll make them do a lot more damage when they're dismounted. I know one of the skills is based off attack speed. Maybe the second one is as well. But they already do a ton of damage dismounted. They'll do even more. So watch out for that. The Fire Hollowberry Cookie or Macaron Guard. The Shield skill increases defense for all allies from 1 turn is now 2. Okay, that'll make it a little bit better. I don't see this thing used very much, but it's effective when it works, so it'll make it a little more effective. Light Joker passive. Installs a bomb that detonates after 2 turns with a 35% chance is now 50. Okay, so that's going to be pretty good on some defenses. Maybe a 4-star defense in Siege. 50% chance to install a bomb. That's pretty good. And it's an RNG random unit. You get some stuns in there as well if it's Despair. I like the Light Joker. Water Neostone Fighter Ryan, the Dagger Dash, attacks the enemy 3 times to grant continuous damage for 1 turn. Is now disturbs the enemy HP recovery for 2 turns each. And the damage is increased by approximately 12%. Okay, to kind of counteract the removal of the dots, but is that 2 turns for every hit? Is that a 6-turn debuff? Am I reading that wrong? I don't know. I think getting 3 dots is pretty good on 1 unit, so we'll see how that works. I think he's still going to be irrelevant, but Fire Neostone Fighter, his passive, right now it decreases the damage taken by 20% if you're under harmful effects. It's going to be counterattacks with Relentless Strike when your HP falls to 30% or below by receiving damage from an enemy. Okay, so that's really good. If he has attack buff, I believe that's the second skill. He'll boost his crit rate, and he does a lot of damage. So if he's below 30%, his passive's already ticked up a lot. And if he's on Vampire, he is going to take a fat heal. So I wonder if there would be a cooldown on that, because if not, I could see this guy being tough to kill if he just keeps counterattacking. So that'll be really interesting. That'll be a fun unit to try out after this balance patch. Wind Neostone Fighter, push through, attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its attack bar by 50%. Is now 75% each. Okay, that's fine. I think he gets another turn if some condition is met. I'm not sure. Maybe it's decreasing the attack bar fully, so that could be maybe make it easier for him to get another turn. I may be wrong, but I think that's whatever. That's fine. Dark Neostone Fighter, Piercing Dagger. Damage is increased by approximately 7%. So I know this guy is usable. I haven't seen him used in a while. Makes him a little more usable, but I'm not really familiar with him enough to be able to make a good comment on this one. Water Death Knights. Okay. A lot of 4-stars at the end here getting buffed. Decline. Grants recovery on all allies for 2 turns is now 3 turns. Okay, so that's fine. That's good. I don't really see him used except for maybe when you're fighting him in TOA. So we'll see if that actually gets him used maybe, but let's see. Another Death Knight buff. Fire, Wind, and Light. Deadly Wave. Recovers the HP of 2 allies with the lowest HP ratio by 10%. Is now 15% of your max HP. Okay, so a little bit more healing. I think it could be, I don't know, I think it's still alright. I mean, the light one is definitely used in a lot of defenses, so it'll make it a little bit more annoying. Water Rakshasa, the Delicate Whip. Guaranteed to stun the enemy if the enemy is granted with a harmful effect is now if the attack lands as a critical hit. Okay, so I mean, I'm not sure if it was able to stun on wind enemies with a harmful effect. If it glanced, I don't ever see this unit used, but I guess it makes it a little more consistent on stunning if you're attacking maybe a fire or water unit and you have good crit rate. Might be helpful if you don't have a harmful effect to pair with it. So, okay. The Fire Rakshasa is getting a buff as well in her passive. Attacks again with a 100% chance when attacking a wind monster. Okay. I could see this being really good in some PvE content. Maybe the Wind Rift. And maybe some dungeons for some beginner players. That'll make it a lot easier. Okay. I like that. And she can get good additional damage from speed and in her artifacts as well. So that'll be good. The Dark unit is also getting a buff, or a change. Attacks the enemy 4 times to decrease its attack bar by 30%, is now absorb its attack bar by 25%. Okay. So basically just getting another turn. That could be pretty annoying. But I'm not really sure how usable she is, but you know. And then the Fire Beetle Guardian skill error is also fixed. Whatever. Alright. I think that's not a bad balance patch. A lot of these monsters at the top, like Sonya, the Dark Panda Warrior, I think the Twin Angels as well, and even some of the Spectre Princesses, those are definitely needing a nerf. But I think they did a really good job with the buffs at the bottom as well. I definitely think that the Fire Hacker is the winner of this balance patch. That's going to be good. He was already very usable. So, again, if you haven't built him, definitely get some runes on him, start skilling him up. But, alright, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you.